Lyra had always believed that her life was complete in solitude. On the planet Auris, the luminous desert stretched endlessly, painting the horizon with hues of violet and gold. Its twin suns rose and fell, casting shadows that danced across the crystalline spires of the city. Lyra, a member of the Auran, a species known for their longevity and intricate bioluminescent patterns, lived within the central tower of the capital, surrounded by advanced technology that hummed quietly with the pulse of the planet. Yet despite her wealth and status, an ache lingered deep within her. Lyra had come to accept a truth that had haunted her since adolescence. She was infertile. Among the Auran, bearing offspring was not merely biological, it was a sacred continuation of knowledge and legacy. Lyra's parents had tried every known method, from genetic therapies to ancient Auran rituals, yet each attempt had ended in disappointment. While others of her age prepared for the arrival of children, she found herself wandering the gardens of the tower alone, the luminescent flowers reflecting faint patterns on her skin, reminding her of what she could never achieve. Then came Joran, the human. He arrived aboard a small interstellar freighter, grounded near the capital for repairs. Humans were rare visitors to Auris, and even rarer were those who sought not profit but curiosity. Joran carried with him the unmistakable aura of a species that thrived in adversity, a resilience that fascinated Lyra. She first encountered him in the market district, where the crystalline stalls shimmered under the suns. His presence was awkward, yet calm, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar alien architecture with both wonder and caution. It began with small conversations. Joran asked questions that others assumed were impolite questions about Auran biology, about the complexities of their reproductive processes, about the personal stories that were usually left unspoken. Lyra found herself speaking freely, sharing the quiet sorrow she had carried for years. He listened with an intensity that startled her, without judgment, without pity. "I've seen humans adapt to things considered impossible," Joran said one evening as they walked beneath the glowing canopies of the public gardens. "Maybe what you think is impossible isn't truly so." Lyra had smiled politely, but remained unconvinced. She had heard similar encouragement from countless others, yet none had changed her reality. Still, something in his voice lingered. Over the following weeks, their interactions deepened. Joran assisted in repairing parts of the central tower, systems that the Auran engineers had considered too delicate or too risky. He worked with precision and intuition, earning Lyra's reluctant respect. Yet his most unusual contribution was the curiosity he brought to biology. He observed, he asked, he hypothesized in ways that challenged centuries of Auran assumptions. One day, Lyra invited him to her private laboratory, a place she had kept sacred and untouched for decades. "I've given up on this," she admitted, gesturing to the various devices and specimens that filled the room. "All my efforts have failed." Joran examined the apparatus with careful hands. "You've tried what's been done," he said. "Maybe what's needed isn't what's known." He proposed a series of tests, combining Auran reproductive science with human genetic techniques, integrating them in a way no one had attempted before. Lyra's hesitation was strong, yet the hope in Joran's eyes was disarming. The process was meticulous, demanding both patience and trust. Slowly, the impossible began to feel like a fragile possibility. Months passed. The twin suns shifted in their arcs, and Auris changed with them. Lyra found herself laughing more, sleeping less, and feeling an energy she had long forgotten. Joran's presence became integral, his guidance a bridge between two species, both learning and experimenting together. Then the day came when the first tests confirmed what neither had dared hope for. Lyra's reproductive markers indicated a new possibility. Conception was achievable. Her heart raced as she considered what this meant, not just for her, but for her species, and for the bond that had grown between her and Joran, The process of conception was unlike anything Orin science had documented. Joran's understanding of human fertility allowed him to facilitate techniques that harmonized with Lyra's unique biology. The initial attempts were cautious, measured, guided by both science and instinct. Lyra's skin glowed brighter, a sign of her body responding in ways that were previously unimaginable. She felt a warmth that wasn't merely physical but spiritual, a sense of life blooming within her where none had existed before. The revelation transformed Lyra. Her solitude faded, replaced by anticipation and wonder. She began preparing for motherhood, learning what her culture considered sacred rituals and combining them with new practices that Joran had introduced. Together, they crafted an environment for the unborn child that was both protective and nurturing. Blending technology with natural Orin harmony, news of her possible fertility spread through Orin society like a ripple across water. Curiosity turned to admiration. The elders, who had once doubted the feasibility of her conception, now watched with cautious optimism. The young Orin looked to her as a symbol of hope, proof that boundaries could be redefined. Yet Lyra remained grounded, aware that the journey had only just begun. The day she felt the first movements of the child within her was unforgettable. The sensation was subtle at first, a gentle rhythm beneath her skin, like tiny pulses of light. Each movement resonated through her being, confirming that life had truly taken root. She shared the moment with Joran, who held her hand with a reverence that mirrored her own awe. "They're strong," he whispered. "Already stronger than we imagined." Months continued to pass, and Lyra's condition evolved. The Orin rituals of gestation were intense, requiring meditation, energy alignment, and strict nutritional discipline. Joran adapted alongside her, learning to navigate the nuances of a species vastly different from his own. He watched over her with patience and dedication, ensuring that both mother and child thrived. The bond between them deepened beyond words, rooted in mutual respect, discovery, and an unspoken recognition that they were creating something extraordinary. Finally, the day of birth arrived. It was not a moment of fear, but one of profound expectation. The chamber where Lyra labored was bathed in soft light, pulsating gently with the rhythms of Oris. Joran remained at her side, providing steady support, adjusting instruments, and observing the intricate dance of life. When the child emerged, Lyra gasped. The infant's skin shimmered with faint bioluminescent patterns, a blend of Orin heritage and subtle human traits. Its small form radiated vitality, and as it opened its eyes, Lyra felt an overwhelming surge of connection. The child was not only a miracle, but a testament to the potential of two worlds intertwining. Tears streaked down Lyra's cheeks as she held her child. "You are here," she whispered, voice trembling. "I never thought this would be possible." Joran smiled, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. "Neither did I," he admitted. "But you believed." "We believed together." The Orin elders arrived shortly after, silent witnesses to the new life. They observed the infant with awe, their expressions a mixture of reverence and disbelief. In that moment, Lyra realized that the boundaries of possibility had expanded not just for her, but for her people. The child represented the bridging of species, the harmony of science and hope, and the unyielding power of faith in the impossible. As the weeks turned into months, Lyra adapted to her new role as a mother. The child thrived, absorbing knowledge and energy from its surroundings, a living symbol of unity between human and Orin. Joran remained a constant presence, guiding, supporting, and cherishing the family they had formed. Lyra often reflected on her journey, from despair to hope, from isolation to connection. She remembered the countless nights spent alone in the gardens, watching the twin suns rise, believing that her dreams had been forever out of reach. Now, she watched her child play beneath the glowing flora, laughter echoing in the crystalline corridors, and knew that nothing was impossible when courage and trust intersected in the heart of Oris. The Orin learned a new truth. Life was not bound by what was known, but by the willingness to explore, to adapt, and to embrace the unknown. Through Lyra and Joran, they discovered that the essence of humanity, the persistence, the compassion, the daring to dream, could enrich even the most advanced civilizations. Lyra's name became known not just for her own achievements, but for the hope she inspired. And as she watched her child grow, a blend of two worlds, she realized that infertility had been a myth in the face of determination, knowledge, and the courage to believe in the extraordinary in the quiet moments. When the twin suns dipped below the horizon and the city shimmered in the soft twilight, Lyra held her child close. She looked at Joran, whose eyes mirrored her own sense of wonder, and whispered, "We made life together." And in that instant, under the luminous sky of Ores, humanity and Orin became inseparable, not through conquest, not through dominance, but through the simple, unyielding act of creation.